Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different today. This was requested by Musa, the subscriber who kind of reached out to me in the comments and said that he wanted to kind of have a video made on how to start One Piece Treasure Cruise, how to begin, where to go, you know, how to get like limit break materials, what coliseums are, etc. And kind of like as a big thank you to you guys for helping me grow the channel so quickly, I wanted to make this video to help out any new subscribers, any new beginners, anybody that hasn't played the game before, or maybe you have a friend, you want to get introduced into the game, you want to bring them into the community, and you don't know quite what to do that. Like, you can only explain so much in such a short amount of time, so maybe you can link in this video to get them started. But either way, what we're going to do is we're going to hop into what you want to do when you obviously start the game. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be different for everybody, but in my opinion, what you want to start with is focusing on what your main captain is going to be, what your starting legend is going to be, right? Because that's very important to starting the game, is having a really good captain. Like, so when you start the game, you go through the tutorial, it teaches you what to play, what tap timing is and whatnot, and eventually you'll get a free pull. Before, this wasn't a guaranteed legend, but now it is, and you can get any of a certain number of legends, right? So for me here, I got Dogstorm and Cat Viper. They're not great as a captain anymore. I don't actually think they ever really were. So for me, this isn't a really good start, unfortunately. So there's a number of things that you can do. You can reroll. If you don't know how to do that, while I could explain it here, it would take a lot of time, and I would like to just instead redirect you guys to Toadski. He's a wonderful content creator for One Piece Treasure Cruise. What you could literally do is just type in One Piece Treasure Cruise reroll into the YouTube search engine, and his name will pop up and you will get a video at the very top there. Click that video. He will tell you everything you need to know to start over, to reroll and get the legend you want, or legends you want, and then you can begin the game after that. So basically, if you're not familiar with rerolling, you basically start over with X amount of gems, right? If you can see here, we have 90 right now. So if I go to the tavern, this is where all the summoning is done. This is where you get your new units, your new legends. This is how you increase your box. It's not the only way, but it's one of the best ways, because the best legends and the best units in the game generally come from the tavern here. And you have all kinds of different banners here. This one is the V3 Zoro and the V2 Kaido banner, which came out recently. It's not a must summon. A must summon banner is one coming up hopefully soon, which should be a Kainu versus Ace. We'll get into that later. If you're starting, I would probably suggest though, like, if for rerolling purposes, that you do start on this banner right here, because it has a huge list of units and we get a discount at the start here. And right now, if you do reroll at this current time, being we are on June 8th, 2021, you can get up to 90 rainbow gems. And the step details here, your first multi here is going to be 30, and so we can do 2 multis before we need a reroll. So, and on this specific banner, we get, I believe, yeah, a 2x rate boost for SugaFest exclusive. I believe the base rate for a SugaFest exclusive, aka a red poster, a legend poster, is what we also call it, is about 5% per multi. Right now it's up to 10%. And sometimes with certain SugaFests that come out throughout the year, maybe 2-3 times a year, if that, it can even go up to 3 times. Those are the banners you want to pull on. Especially if you're free to play, you have a limited amount of gems, you don't want to spend a lot of money on the game. I would always spend at least $1 on the game by going to the tavern here. And by doing that, you basically give your account security. They can, like, if you lose your account, if you had made that purchase, they can more easily recover your account if they can trace it with a purchase. So even if you don't have a lot of money, I recommend just doing like the $1 buy here, and then just free to play after that. And that is literally just going to be there for security. I've seen a lot of people lose accounts and they simply could not get them back because they had never made a purchase. And I don't want you guys to ever have to go through that, putting in all that time and work and having to start over, when you could just have simply made a $1 purchase and Bandai can far more easily recover your account. Now, I don't believe it's impossible for them to recover it without you making a purchase, but it's much more likely if you do. I feel like it's definitely worth it for that extra security. But anyways, once you're done re-rolling, getting the legend that you want, You know, a good example to start with is Gold D. Roger. You know, he's a rainbow captain, meaning that he literally will boost everybody on your team. You can start with Luffy and Law. They're still really good. They're a rainbow captain. A rainbow captain in general is the way you want to start because you're not going to have a lot of units at the very beginning, right? I mean, if you look here, we have basically nothing. Though when you do reroll, you're going to have 2 multis under your belt. You're going to have about 20 extra units here, 22. And you can use them on your teams as well. But your main focus isn't going to be on the rare recruits, aka the gold posters you get. Your main focus is going to be on the rerolling for the perfect red poster. The red poster being, it could be Roger, Luffy, Law, it could be Kaido, who's really good as a starter. Well, he's actually really good even outside of that, but he's not used for all content nowadays. But any content he can do, he's amazing. So anyways, once we get the rerolling done, you have your desired legend. For the most part, what you're gonna want to do is go to story mode here. We have basically all the islands in chronological order as they appear throughout the story, and they're all relatively easy. And the main reason we want to do these is we want to accumulate rainbow gems. You get them as you complete these islands as a reward for finishing them up, and you actually do get rainbow gems in between some of the stages as well. So if we go to Skypiea here. And this is also a newer feature if you are new to One Piece Treasure Cruise. Before, we had to go through the entire story chronologically. We couldn't just say click on an island and go to that island instantly. We had to actually unlock all these. But now you can just go to the older island, or sorry, the newer islands relatively, like Upper Yard Arc Maxim, or you can go to anything following that without actually having to beat any of the content before it, which is really nice if you're just farming for gems, because the early islands don't really give you a ton of gems. But, you know, they kind of do help you, like, learn the game. They do teach you a few base things about the game. So I do recommend doing them. You'll want to complete them all eventually anyways. But your first order of business is just to get through your story mode. Raise your pirate level up, because there are a lot of things that are kind of locked, right? Behind pirate level. We have treasure map here. This is an event that happens monthly. Once a month, and it's usually anywhere between 3 to 4 days. Don't worry about this right now. Kizuna Clash, same thing, once a month, don't worry about it right now. Pirate Rumble, which is the PvP mode, it's an automated PvP mode, where you pit your team against a fellow pirates team, and they just automatically fight each other, and it's actually really fun, it's really cool. It's not a mandatory mode by any means, but you do get nice rewards from it, so definitely recommend doing it. That unlocks at 120, but once again, nothing you really have to worry about immediately. Yeah, so after that, let's take a look. We need to go to Extra Island. Or sorry, Extra Island / event. This is where you're going to be spending a lot of time. After you get done with the story, you're going to be here all the time. So here we have 4 tabs. We have Check, Power Up, Event, and Challenge. So Challenge you don't worry about for a while. Basically, the hardest content in the game is under there. We have GARP challenges, which are sets of stages that usually have about 7 stages in between them that are very difficult to clear. You need basically the best captains, you need the best rare recruits. Well, maybe not the best nowadays, because as time has passed, some of the GARP challenges have gotten easier over time, but they're still relatively difficult. So you can get some nice rewards through there. You can get limit break materials. That's actually one of the very few ways outside of TM that you can get them, by clearing a certain amount of missions, and that's something we'll get into in just a second. You can get almighty manuals, like I said, limit break materials. You can get rainbow gems there. GARP challenges reset once a month, and they reset on a certain day. And if you want to check, you just go to request here, at the very top left here. We have Choppermon, and he's going to actually give you missions. If you're just starting out, you're going to see these rookie missions. But for the GARP challenges, you go here to Special, and we scroll all the way down here, and he should be down right here. Yeah, see, it says GARP challenge, clear all requests for GARP challenge, and then it'll usually say like which challenge to clear, this one being Whitebeard. All of them will reset on the same day. So that'll be June 9th for this month, which is actually tomorrow. And then after that reset, you have an entire month to clear these. But once again, this is endgame content. Nothing to worry about if you're just starting. You want your units limit breaked out to even start doing this content. You want them to have, you know, max level, max special, max limit break, cotton candies on them. And if you're confused about what that is, we'll also get into that in just a moment. But Chopper Man here, it's very important to pay attention to Rookie, because you get great rewards by doing this. As you can see here, if we clear all requests, you get 50 Rainbow Gems. Rookie will eventually advance to another state. I actually think it's like advanced missions, and then master missions, once you do X amount of these missions. So, and this reward will update as well. So for instance, if we clear this mission, another mission will open up, and it'll appear down here. And by finishing all these missions, you will get the 50 Rainbow Gems. Once you get that, the missions will turn into advanced missions, and then you can get another 50 Rainbow Gems. When they reset, you can get another 50 Rainbow Gems with the advanced missions. It'll reset again to master missions, and those are divided into 2 parts, both taking a good amount of time, but they will also both reward you with 50 more Rainbow Gems each. So by doing just Chopper Man missions alone under the Rookie tab, you can get 200 Rainbow Gems, which is a lot. Save it for a nice Sugo. You know, if you're free to play, you don't want to be spending gems recklessly. You're going to want to take your time, bide your time, and just wait for the best banners to come out so you can get the most value out of your gems. So, just follow the instructions here. You know, this one is simple. Just clear stage chapter 1 of Albeda's hideout in the main story. And very nice. You can actually hit challenge, and it should take you right to the content you need to clear. Being this entire story mode, which I think is like, what, 3 or 4 stages? I think it's 3. And then you'll receive the reward that the Chopper Man mission is representing there. So anyways, Chopper Man also has daily rewards as well. You can get a Rainbow Gem, you can get some friend points, you can get an Evolver here, which gives you EXP. Not an Evolver, sorry, but a Boiled Lobster here that gives you EXP that you can feed to a character to level them up. You definitely want to get your characters to max level. When you're starting at the very beginning, it could take some time because they did take away Turtle Time. And Turtle Time used to be a mode where you can go in there and just all day, if you wanted to, you could farm turtles over and over and over again. And you would get a lot of pirate experience by doing this. They took it out and they replaced it with this, these Princess Hime Turtles acquirement. The issue with this is I'm almost certain these are once a day, which sucks. Let's see. Can only be played once per day. Yeah, so you can't really farm turtles anymore, to my knowledge. There might be like, I actually do think you could probably farm them in like these rookie character recruit quests. Like a good example would be, let me see, it actually might be this one right here. This is something that I was farming for Chopper Man. So if we go here to Usopp, for example, he's a Psy type, right? He's a yellow type. His stage is going to actually drop Princess Turtles every time you clear it, guaranteed. I was getting a ton of materials doing this. And you're going to want to use those Princess Turtles, and you're going to want to feed those yellow ones into a unit that is also yellow, because they will give a bonus to that unit because of the same color. Or a dual unit which shares that color typing. As you can see here, this is a good example. We have Dogstorm and Cat Viper. They're actually 2 different colors. Dogstorm is Strength, which is the red type, and Cat Viper is Psy, which is the yellow type. But despite the fact that they're both those colors, they will take a bonus from Strength and and Psy type turtles. So that is to be noted. So, very important to level up your characters, give them the max level. It does not take too long. I believe Legends are 5 million, Rare Recruits are about 4 million. And every Princess Turtle you feed should be about 375,000 experience per turtle. And what's really nice is when you do these stages, I believe the first time you clear it, you can't do it. But when you clear the stage, it'll give you the option to, right here, instead of OK, it'll also, on the right-hand side it'll say like 2 times stamina or something. So you can get twice the rewards for doing it only 1 time. But it will use double the amount of stamina, which is to be noted. So very quickly you can actually get your characters leveled up. So if you start struggling, that might be what your main issue is at the very beginning, is to just get your characters leveled up, and that's a great way to do it. On that note, actually, too, like, if you go here to details, you'll see what color the boss is here. And this is specifically only for these quests here under Power Up. These are called Rookie Character Recruitment. I don't know if these apply to these ones as well. They probably do, but I know for a fact they do here. So let's say we're looking for a certain color, right? you'll just highlight one of these, go to detail, and here. If you need side turtles, do Cavendish. If you need quick turtles, do Amanda? Amandi? I don't know how you pronounce her name. And there's more side there. But, you know, just keep looking through these, and if you're looking for a certain color, you'll definitely find it, and you can farm the turtle of that color at that stage. So that's definitely a good substitute to the turtle time that I mentioned before. Beforehand, you used to be able to just farm turtles more straightforward, but now that's kind of the way you have to do it. These here are nothing super important, but you do want to do them to get the gem. This is always under check. This is just writing a review for the game, and this occasionally pops up every now and then, but you do get a free rainbow gem, so it's kind of like, why not? These Sugafest trials let you try out the newest units for free on one stage, and you're going to have 4 battles per stage. Kind of lets you see what the units do, what they're all about, their attack animations, their special animations. So if you want to see what they do, what they look like in game, these are really nice. But you're going to want to do them anyways because they're going to reward you with 1 gem, so there's no reason not to do that. And then under here you have power up. Let's see, so the most important ones here are going to be the Evolver and Berry quests. And Golden Cave here gives you berry as well. This is where you're going to want to go to get most of your currency here, which is going to be at the top left here. This is where all your berries are. And they're used mostly for limit breaking. Limit breaking costs a lot of berry, so make sure you save up. And it also costs, you know, berry to feed units to other units, to level them up, to evolve them, etc. So berry is very important early on, but it's very easy to acquire. Because you can do, say, any of these stages. Once you beat it the first time, you can go double stamina, and you will get twice the amount of berries in one run in exchange for double the stamina. So here it's 30, you would be paying 60, but you would get double the amount of berries. So you save a lot of time by doing that. But that can also be applied to the earlier stages here as well. Just whatever you think you're more comfortable with handling at the very beginning. They are relatively easy though, so nothing to worry about too much there. This is where you're going to get your evolvers here. These are necessary to, well, evolve your characters. So if we go here, you can see the characters here are grayed out. That means that you don't have the necessary materials to evolve them yet, but all of them can be obtained here in the Evolver tab. Very simple, very straightforward. You don't really have to go out of your way to get any specific kind of material, unless it's a skull, but you don't really need those right now since that's meant for super evolving units, and that's just not something you really do at the very beginning of the game. But yeah, like, so let's say you need, you know, this Elder Seahorse. You'll hit Obtain, and it'll tell you where to go to get it. So you can get it from the Sea Pony Paradise. You can also get it from Friend Point Recruit or Rayleigh's Bazaar. Rayleigh's Bazaar is, well, let's take a look at it real quick, shall we? So you go to Crew, and under all these options here at the very bottom right, you're going to see Bazaar. So he'll introduce himself, he'll tell you what he does. He takes trading points and he can give you items. The trading points are given via units that you don't want anymore, right? So if we go here, we click the plus sign, you can sell fodder units here, but the problem is with these specific units is that they're like nothing. You know, they're only 1 star, they're not really worth anything. As you can see here, they're not really giving us any points. But if you were to say, I don't know, sell this Shanks, he'd be worth 300 points. 4-star units are usually worth about 300 points. Free-to-play units, units that you can farm, units that you cannot pull, but that you can farm on a stage, are usually worth very little because, you know, it's farmable stuff. It's easy to get. He won't give you too much for that. But if you start pulling, you get a lot of dupe units. You want to keep the dupes, by the way. If you get dupes in the game, keep them. Do not sell them. Only time you want to sell to Rayleigh is when you get units that you can no longer use. They're max limit broken. They are good to go. Your unit's rainbowed. If you've done that, you can come here and sell that unit and get the Rayleigh points. And then if we go to what he actually has, this will probably take a while to load, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah. So what he sells here, he sells Rumble Scrolls for PvP. Right now, not a big priority for you, but if you can pick them up, that is nice because, you know, Rumble Scrolls are kind of rare right now. You know, there are only a certain few ways to get them, but they're not going to be your main priority. You can buy Cola, you can buy Tomes. Tomes unlock special abilities for your character that allow them to resist certain abilities from the opponent, which are very useful, and once you get closer to endgame, you're going to actually end up needing them to clear content. They can give you powers like auto healing, which, as the name mentions, lets you heal a little bit at the end of every turn Helps keep you alive, helps you stall, helps you buy more time to get your specials up. Very important stuff there. You can get a guaranteed red poster here. It's 50k though, so at the very beginning while you're playing, you don't really need this. This is more so when you have a big abundance of Relay points. These 3k red gold tickets aren't really worth it either, because 3k is also kind of a bit. But, you know, if you're missing certain rare recruits and you happen to have a lot of points, it's not the worst idea. So these are the scrolls right here of all different rarities. Let's see, the bronze one, you know, giving you the weakest amount of EXP, silver in between, and the gold giving you the highest amount of EXP. We have cotton candy. Cotton candy are basically stat boosters for your units. Currently, the max boost, so when you first start out, the max boost for your units will be an extra plus 300. And they get 3 stats. Let's see, so when we go here, we can take a look at what they boost. They're going to boost 3 stats right here. HP, attack right here, and your RCV, which is your recovery ability. What RCV is I'm pretty sure it explains it in the early tutorial, but it has been a while for me, is when you eat a meat orb by hitting a good or a great, when the meat orb is selected, you will eat the orb and it'll heal you. And it's going to heal you depending on how much RCV your team has accumulated. So let's say, an example, let's say this Luffy has 14, and he's on your crew, and he's on your crew with this Dogstorm and Cat Viper. It's going to add their RCV together, and you're going to heal for that much, which would be what, 197? So with the cotton candies, all the values are a little different per category. For instance, when you give an HP cotton candy to one of your units, for every 1 cotton candy, you will get 5 HP. For every 1 attack cotton candy, you will get 2 attack on that unit. So if I feed like a +1 cotton candy to these guys, they'll go from 754 to 756. So if you feed them +100, they will get a total of +200 extra attack. RCV only gives you 1 RCV per cotton candy, so they can only ever go up by 100, which will be 100 being the maximum cotton candy you can feed them per stat. But anyways, you can unlock the ability to give them more cotton candy later on, and that's going to be done through PvP. But the absolute maximum you can end up reaching is like 600, but that's nothing you need to worry about. It will literally take years to unlock that high level of stat. I actually think right now, since PvP came out last year, the cotton candy can only be maxed out at like 540, 550 out of 600. So even if you've been playing since then, I'm pretty sure you can't even max out your cotton candy yet, because you have to level a certain facility up in order to get the cotton candy to actually raise to that level. So nothing to worry about right now. So going back to the bazaar here, let's take a look at what else is sold here. So let's go all the way down here. So that's cotton candy. These are absolute almighty manuals. The absolute ones guarantee you get a special level up on your character, which is very important because your characters want to have max special level up, because the quicker they charge their specials, the quicker you can clear the stage. The less time you need to stall in that stage, the less time you need to actually focus on survival, and you can focus on getting to the end of the stage and clearing it. That's why that's important. Almighty manuals only give you a chance at getting any character's special level up by 1 per unit. Global has their special level up bonus equivalent to Japan's. So basically, anytime you feed a manual right now, it's like a 30% chance of leveling up that special. But you don't want to use almighty manuals right away. They cost, you know, a good amount of RP, so you're going to want to avoid those for now. But I figured it'd be important to go over what they actually do. These are the forbidden tomes that give you sockets, which are abilities, as I mentioned before, that can give you like bind, despair resistances, auto heal, reduce damage taken. These are really important. But when you're just starting the game, they are not a big deal, because you won't be dealing with any of those debilitating abilities, I should say, until much later on. You can buy berries here. I don't recommend it. Just go to the berry stage and clear it, the berry cave. Definitely a better use of your RP there. You can buy some ships here, and we need to actually go over ships, so let's do that real quick. So when you hit crew, you'll see shipyard here, and it'll kind of give you a little introduction as to what the ships actually do, but they're very important. So the currency used to evolve a ship and take it to its next level, the starting level being 1 and the max level being 10, you need to use cola. And you'll get that just by doing quests, you'll get it by doing dailies, you'll get it as a reward sometimes for doing certain stages. They're very important. And you want to make sure you max out a ship as soon as you can, because that's when you get the ship's maximum ability. Because here, this is a pretty terrible ship, the one you start with, the dinghy. But it tells you what it does, but the stats will actually go up, and sometimes even additional effects will be added to the ship, depending on what grade the ship is. With 1 giving you the least amount of abilities and stats, and 10, you know, of course, giving you the max amount. But the ship you're going to want to start with will actually be obtained early on in the story mode here. So we're going to go to, I believe it's Syrup Village. Yeah, you can get Going Merry. This ship is going to be your bread and butter for a long time. It gives you a 1.5 attack multiplier, which is very relevant even to the day. And I believe it allows you to more easily hit perfects, which is awesome in general, but even better when you're learning the game, you're learning the tap timing on your characters, and it doesn't punish you as much for not knowing the timing on your characters. Because if you're new, every character has a different attack animation, so every character has a different tap timing to hit their perfect. They're not all going to be the same. So this is actually really good for practicing as well, and learning your character's tap timing, timing. So I would definitely clear Syrup Village ASAP just to get that ship, and then just kind of continue on down the story in chronological order. I don't really see a reason to skip, because like I said, you're going to clear through all this anyways to get all the gems. I think you can get up to like 400, maybe even 500 rainbow gems just by doing this. So yeah, that's going to be your main focus. Let's go to crew now. You have the, I want to kind of go over the options real quick. We have edit crew, pretty self-explanatory. This is how you put your crew together. This is how you compose everything, and you have 8 tabs here for 8 different teams that you can set up at once. But starting off, you're not going to have a lot of units, so you're only going to have like maybe 1, maybe 2 teams going. Your legend, whatever legend you rerolled is always going to go at the top. At the very top here is where the captain goes. It'll be highlighted right here. And their captain ability will be displayed right here in this box. You hit details, it'll tell you what they do, it'll tell you what classes they boost, it'll tell you if they boost everything, it'll tell you by how much they boost. If they give you an HP boost, it'll tell you here as well. It'll literally tell you every boost your crew will get. And that's all going to be funneled under the captain ability. So it's very important to read that. And on top of that, we have special as well. So we have their captain ability and their special. Make sure to read these. These are very important. These are basically what we end up using in the end game of OPTC. We want to do a couple things. We want to know what these specials do. We want to build teams built around units that can benefit one another. For instance, these guys will boost Striker and Cerebral characters. So that tells us that we want to run them on a team that runs Striker and Cerebral characters, right? Because if you run like a Slasher, if you run a Free Spirit, a Driven unit, they will not get this bonus. So that is always important to note. And it's in their captain ability as well, what they actually boost. And generally, if they do boost a certain typing, like these 2 types, Cerebral and Striker, their special will usually only boost those 2 typings as well. But there actually are a lot of exceptions to that. So definitely always good to read that information and then make sure you kind of just keep it logged what these units do. But the more you play, the more you'll kind of just memorize what they do anyways. And this little meter right, this little, I guess, notice right here, level 1, this is what it starts out as, and it's going to be 22 turns. The max is level 6, so you can level it up 5 times. That'll reduce the amount of turns needed to wait until the special comes up. So that'll be, down to 17 turns? Really nice. 17 turns instead of waiting 22 turns is huge. And this applies to all characters that you're going to be using. You don't want to level up the special of like fodder characters or anything like that. Like, where are these guys? These guys don't matter. Get rid of these guys as soon as you see them. Go to the crew button here, go to sell, get rid of them. They're just going to be taking up your box space. You don't want them there. They are doo-doo. Anything that's like 1 or 2 stars, unless it's like a support unit, you want to get rid of. But generally anything you get in the story mode that's 1 or 2 stars, you don't want to keep, you want to sell it. Now sometimes in story mode they'll drop certain characters, like if you do like Skypea for example, you'll get like NL, or Aniru depending on how you want to pronounce his name. And he's a story mode character, and sometimes they're actually pretty decent. And some people like to just collect these characters. So as soon as you get them, you know, what you're going to want to do is go to your character list, find them, and then you're going to want to click them here and hit favorite. When you do that, this will prevent you from selling the unit on accident, be it through selling it through this menu here, or by selling them at the bazaar, at Rayleigh's Bazaar. Very important to do that. Kind of make it a habit of when you get a new unit to kind of just favorite them, to make sure you don't accidentally do that. Then we have power up. This is pretty self-explanatory. I do believe the tutorial actually goes over it. But you have the level up EXP here. Now normally this is going to show EXP materials. This is going to be the aforementioned turtles that we mentioned. They're going to appear here, and this is where you're going to want to go to feed them. But technically, you can use any of these menus to feed them, but depending on which one you click, it'll just change the order of what the materials appear in. That's pretty much all there is to it. So now we have limit break. We can't utilize this quite yet. So to limit break, you need to have potions to limit break these. You get these potions sometimes through quests. You can get them through Kizuna Clash. You can get them through Treasure Map. Treasure Map being the prime place, as well as you also need limit break materials, which are mostly found in Treasure Map, making Treasure Map kind of a priority as soon as you unlock it to do it. And going back here, you unlock Treasure Map at level 80. Once you're level 80, go ahead and do that. We have a treasure map actually coming up very soon, I think tomorrow, and you can start doing it even then. Like the very first league, the very first difficulty of treasure map is very easy. You can run the same team over and over again, and you can get materials that way. So definitely not a bad idea to do that if you can get to 80 pretty quickly. I don't recall it taking too long to do so, so if you have the time to gain some levels, do story mode. And that's another thing about story mode too, is you get more EXP depending on, the higher difficulty the stage is, right? So, when you first start out, you won't be getting as much EXP from the earlier islands, but as you get towards the later islands, you should be getting more EXP. I don't know if they've changed this recently. This is just what I've known from last playing when I actually last did story mode. They could have very well changed it to where all these islands give you like a flat amount of EXP and it's interchangeable and it doesn't really matter where you start. But in the off chance that that's not the case, just start with Fuchsia Village and make your way all the way towards the very end of the story mode, which is currently going to be at Mary Joie. Get to 80, do treasure map, then get the materials that you need, and that's what's going to be used for your limit break. You're going to get limit break potions and limit break materials there, and that's going to be the prime place to get them. Treasure map. You can't get them in Kizuna Clash. Kizuna is a lot of fun. It's basically you just beating the same stage over and over again, but every time you beat the boss stage, the boss gets stronger. So level 1, he's going to have as an example, he'll have, let's say, like 500k HP. You beat him, it upgrades to level 2, you do the stage again. Now he's going to have 650k HP, and so on and so forth. So it kind of tests your box. It kind of shows like how much damage can you do? Do you have enough damage with your teams to actually clear the stage, etc. And once you can no longer clear the stages because the HP values of the boss is too high, you kind of just dip out of Kizuna Clash and you call it a day there. Kizuna unlocked to 80. It's not going to be available until the event notice appears. What you're going to want to go to is home right here, and you're going to have friends, mail, and notice. Notice is basically the in-game news. It'll tell you what banners are available. It'll tell you what events are coming. Very important to check this out at least a couple times a week. If there's any sales, if there's any challenge renewals, if any new limit break expansions come out. That's not really important to note right now. And if you click here, it'll tell you what treasure map's up, or at least what treasure map's coming. It'll give you the date when it starts, when it finishes. It'll tell you what reward you get from the treasure map. Once you hit 1 million points in treasure map, you can actually fully limit break the character. But when you're just starting out, I don't think you can even do that. So basically what you're going to want to do is get to 1 million points. You'll get this guy, favorite him, and then you'll end up getting a bunch of copies of him. I think you get like 50 copies of him. And that's meant to give him max sockets, so he has max abilities. And it's also meant to level up his special ability. So what you're going to want to do is, let's take a look real quick. Yeah, so he has 3 potential abilities, and they're all going to start at level 1. These are limit break abilities up here, and down here are socket abilities. So the Forbidden Tomes that we saw before are going to fill up these 5 right here, which could be damage reduction here, could be charge specials right here, bind, despair, auto heal boost right here. And these 3 right here, most units only have 2, but quite a few do have 3 these days, are potential abilities, and you can only gain these abilities through limit break only. So you can see what they do here by left clicking here. Reduces damage taken from strength characters, and every unit, by the way, is going to have different special abilities. This one has what we usually call Enrage, but provoke attack boost, receive damage up resistance, boost characters attack by 150 the next turn after taking damage, and reduces crew's damage received duration up by 2 turns. And then right here is own special time reduction. So what this means is at the very beginning of the quest, his special will get reduced even further by 9 turns. when you start the quest, which is really nice. And what you're seeing here is him maxed out. You can see what level, how low his special ability is, like how low the amount of turns you need is. So he only needs 11 turns right here to reach max special. And when you start the mission, that'll get reduced by an additional 9 turns when he's max limit broken, and he'll only be 2 turns. Then there are certain characters, aka captains, that can reduce special cooldown at the very beginning of the stage, and there are certain ships in the game that can reduce special cooldown as well. So it's actually feasible for him to start the stage and immediately be able to launch that special, which is really cool, if you need it for whatever reason. So, with these potential abilities, to raise these, you can use tablets, which correspond with each of these. So, for example, you might get strength reduction tablets. They're going to have this icon, and they're going to be on a slab. You'll get a lot of these through treasure map mode, but you can get them through other means like Kizuna Clash. But if you get these tablets, you can feed it to this unit, and you can you'll have a chance at raising one of these abilities. So when you limit break this guy, you'll start out at level 1 for each of these abilities, and 5 is the maximum. So you don't want to use tablets on a free-to-play character, ever. Do not ever do that. Ever, ever, ever. What you want to do is feed them their dupes. So tablets give them special limit break potential ability up, and that's only a chance. But if you have a dupe of them, it'll guarantee that one of these 3 will get boosted. Guaranteed. So when you get this queen in TM, and you get to 1,000,000 points, you'll get 50 copies of him. Save, I think, what is it, 4, 8, save 12 copies of him. Just save 12 of them. Don't use them. Once you max limit break him and can use all of his potential abilities, you can then feed those 12 copies to him, and it'll take all these from level 1 to level 5, and it'll unlock all these abilities for you. So definitely, for free-to-play units, do not ever use tablets. They can be fed dupes, and they will guarantee a special up ability in one of their potentials right here. Every character guaranteeing they go from level 1 to 2 to 3, depending on how many you feed, right? So if you feed 3, he'll go from level 1 here to level 4. So let's say I want to get this guy's potential ability up. I don't have it limit broken right now, so you really can't see what his abilities are. But if I want to guarantee that he gets those limit break abilities, I can feed dupes of this exact unit. Evolved or unevolved, it doesn't matter. And they will guarantee that he gets one of those potential abilities up every time. That's what you're going to want to be mostly using your dupes for. If you don't have your limit break unlocked yet, and you have dupes, keep them. Wait until you can go and you can limit break them, and then feed the dupes to him so you make sure you unlock those potential abilities and they don't go to waste. Not to mention, there's another thing I wanted to mention here. When we go to edit crew, you're going to notice this little lock icon here for support. There are units that have support abilities. I don't think I have any right now, but they'll appear right here. It'll be like this little green icon, and when you click it, it'll open up a menu, and it'll show you what the ability does. And support abilities range from level 1 all the way to level 5, and all support abilities start at level 1. Now, you do get these bonds of friendship, is what they're called, and they have either a small chance, a medium chance, or a guaranteed chance of leveling up your special, your support ability on your unit. So only use those on units that actually have support abilities. Not all units in the game have them, unfortunately. And make sure you read what the support ability does and see if that's something that's relevant to you. Like, the best ones that you want to level are not going to be the ones that give you a flat, like, boost to your stats. They're going to be support abilities that, like, reduce, like, bind on your crew, despair on your crew, paralysis. Anything that gets rid of debuffs like that, those are always top priority for your support abilities to level up. So going back to what I was saying earlier, if you have a dupe of them, if the unit has a support ability and you feed a dupe of them to themselves, it'll guarantee level up that special ability from 1 to 2, depending on how many dupes of them you have, all the way up to 5. So what I usually do is when I get a new legend, let's say I just pulled this on my main account, right? I'm like, alright, I'm going to get him limit broken. Before I do that, though, I'm going to get him the max level. So I'm going to go to power up. Let's pretend I just pulled this guy. I'm going to, put materials into him. It'll max him out, depending on how many I feed him. Once that's done, depending on your level and if you've unlocked it, I'm going to limit break him next. But I can't really showcase what the limit break looks like with this account because it's just not unlocked right now. But we'll go into that with another video. But basically, max level, right? Then you want to put max sockets into him. Usually most units these days have 5 max sockets. These guys only have 3. When you leveled the unit up and evolved them, these guys are they're a Suko rare, they're a legend. So their lowest state, their base state is actually rarity 5. The highest rarity in the game is 6. Well, technically it's 6+. But when you evolve them, they'll go from 5 to 6 in rarity, and their sockets will actually increase from 3 to 5. Don't feed any Forbidden Tomes until you have their max sockets opened up, so those powers don't go to waste. Like, an example being, like, let's say you fed this guy 5 tomes, right? And you got one, like, you got, like, cooldown reduction, you got damage reduction, you got bind, despair, auto heal. You can only use 3 of them because he only has 3 sockets open at the time. So you'd be wasting 2 of those because you wouldn't be able to fit them in here. But if you evolve him and then feed when he has the extra 2 sockets open right here, you'd be able to put all of the sockets in without wasting any of them. Hopefully that makes sense, because I'm having a kind of a difficult time describing how that works. Yeah, if you guys liked the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. Any feedback is definitely appreciated. If you guys have any more questions regarding, like, you know, the game in general, just ask me and we can make a video on it. We can kind of cover all bases, and we can kind of just, you know, make a little community here together where we're answering each other's questions, and, you know, I think that'd be really cool, really positive for the community. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. See you then.